Bemis leaders. Our objective today is to have you understand the Bemis Total Reward Strategy and compensation philosophy. Our goal is to empower you by providing you with the tools to make good compensation decisions that support a high-performance culture. Bemis has a globally consistent, market-competitive philosophy on our compensation programs, which rewards employees for their successful contribution to the execution of Bemis's strategy. This is what we call the Total Reward Strategy. The Total Reward Strategy has three overarching themes. Market competitive. Our Total Rewards programs allow leaders to attract, retain, and motivate their talent to execute on our strategic initiatives. Accountability and alignment. Bemis leaders are responsible to reinforce accountability by differentiating rewards based on individual performance. High performance culture. Total Rewards programs will foster a culture that allows employees to achieve their full potential throughout their career. As part of this strategy, we will target base salaries and incentives to be consistent with market, which is defined by the companies that we compete with for talent in a given geography. We will define base salary ranges with a minimum, midpoint, and maximum. The target value of incentives will be defined as a percentage of base salary. Each salary range or salary grade has a market reference range consisting of a minimum, midpoint, and maximum salary. The midpoint for each grade reflects the average market base salary for all roles within that grade. The purpose of this range is to promote differentiation and provide flexibility to reward sustained high performance in a given role. Each employee will have a comp ratio, which is a reflection of where the employee's salary falls within the salary grade range. To calculate an employee's comp ratio, take the employee's current pay and divide it by the midpoint of their role's salary grade. From there, the grades are broken into quartiles: S1, S2, S3, and S4. Quartiles, along with performance management ratings, are the key components for differentiating pay. Let's walk through an example. Joe Smith's salary is $35,000. We need to determine what quartile Joe's salary falls into. To do this, we'll calculate his comp ratio, which we know now is his current salary divided by the midpoint. The midpoint of his position's grade is $37,500. Therefore, we will take $35,000 divided by $37,500, which gets us 0.93. This means Joe is in the S2 quartile. How are positions slotted into salary grade ranges? Positions are evaluated against market jobs to determine what the market is paying for that role. Once we have the market-based salary, we can determine the appropriate salary grade to slot that position into. It is important to note that positions are evaluated and slotted into salary grades independent of incumbents. The incumbent's performance, proficiency, and experience determines where their salary falls within that salary grade. Leaders have the flexibility to differentiate base salary for individuals based on their performance, experience, and proficiency in their job. These decisions also impact compensation, since incentive compensation is generally a percentage of base pay. Compensation decisions are business decisions to be made prudently with judgment and balanced by leaders who are accountable for meeting company financial objectives. It is a balance between attraction, retention, and cost. While you have the flexibility to differentiate, there are times when you should be cautious. When an employee's salary reaches the midpoint of their grade, leaders should pause, think, and determine whether base pay should exceed market. There are many reasons why base pay should exceed market, such as sustained high performance, proficiency in a given role over time, as well as attracting and retaining critical talent. It is important to note that the midpoint is the average of all roles within that grade. The market for any particular role may be slightly higher or lower than the midpoint of that grade. We will foster accountability through individual performance ratings with a simple, timely, and transparent link to compensation decisions. Employees' base pay should be a true reflection of their performance, proficiency in role, and relative experience. As leaders, you have the flexibility to reward employees for their individual contributions to BMIS's initiatives. It is your role to ensure base pay is differentiated based on performance and your responsibility to drive the pay for performance philosophy during the merit planning process. Performance ratings, along with the employee's quartile, will assist you in differentiating merit pay amongst your employees. Now, let's test your compensation knowledge. Question 1. Is a position's grade determined by the experience of the incumbent? The answer to this question is no. Positions are evaluated independent of incumbents against market jobs to determine the appropriate salary grade. The incumbent's performance, proficiency, and experience determine where their salary falls within that salary grade. Question 2. When an employee reaches the midpoint and has a 1.0 compa ratio, is their pay frozen? The answer to this question is no. Many people believe that a 1.0 compa ratio is a hard stop when it comes to merit planning. When an employee reaches a 1.0 compa ratio, leaders should pause, think, and determine whether base pay should exceed market. There are many reasons why base pay should exceed market, such as sustained high performance, proficiency in a given role over time, as well as attracting and retaining critical talent. Question 3. Does BMIS automatically provide increases to base pay when an employee obtains a new degree or certification in their field? The answer to this question is no. BMIS has a pay-for-performance philosophy. Therefore, when an employee obtains a new degree or certification in their field, it doesn't automatically correlate to an increase in their base pay. We would expect that by obtaining a new degree or certification, the employee's level of performance and proficiency in their role would increase. The employee's higher performance and proficiency will be taken into consideration when determining future merit increases. Now that you better understand BMIS's total reward strategy and compensation philosophy, you are equipped to make effective compensation decisions.